Last month, Jacob Collier challenged any musician to jam over this 30-second loop of his song, All I Need. Now the unique thing about this song is it's a 2-chord vamp and each chord is in a different key. So it's quite the challenge. But I'm going to give you 5 easy tips to spice up the solo. Now the very first thing before we even get into that is figuring out which scales to use over these 2 chords. Finding which scales to use is as simple as knowing what the chords are. In this song, the chords are D flat over A flat and B flat major. So we could simply use D flat major scale and the B flat major scale. But as you're playing through these scales, it helps to know what are the key notes that separate these 2 scales. Look at the notes in each scale and see how much they have in common. The 2 strongest notes that are different are D and D flat and A and A flat. So from seeing this, I know that if I land on either of those notes, I will have the strongest sense of hitting the changes. This brings us to tip 1, finding the juiciest pentatonic to play. Now if I look at the notes in the D flat major pentatonic scale and the B flat major pentatonic scale, I see that the B flat major only has one of those juicy notes, D. But if I think about another pentatonic option, I could always play the pentatonic scale starting on the 3rd of my major scale. So with B flat major, I could play D minor pentatonic over that and it's going to work great. And if I look at those notes, I see both a D and an A, my 2 strong notes. So that's really going to bring out the changes. So I could switch between my D flat major pentatonic going to D minor pentatonic, and I have all those juicy notes in there, and it'll really bring out the changes, especially if I hit those target notes. Let's look at this D flat pentatonic pattern right here. And this D minor pentatonic pattern right here. Now just to look at the higher strings, I want to locate the A flat and the D flat in the D flat pentatonic pattern. And then the A and the D, just a half step up. Beautiful. Now I'll try and target the A and the A flat in the first time through, and then the D and the D flat the second time through, and just hear how strong it is. So you got some cool pentatonic scales and some juicy target notes. Now the next thing to add some spice is arpeggios. Now of course you can play the arpeggio of the chord over the chord. D flat major 7 over the D flat chord, B flat major 7 over the B flat chord. But if you want to add a little spice, let's try out this over the D flat, a G flat major 9 chord. Now let's play that arpeggio over the D flat, it'll bring us some juice. And then just to keep it simple, over our B flat chord, we'll play this B flat major 7 arpeggio. After our pentatonic licks and arpeggios, we could try some harmonized lines. So in the key of D flat, let's try and mix and match these neo chords. And a really simple move to add to our bucket of harmonized lines is double stops. So right now I'll try adding neo chords over D flat and double stops over B flat with a B flat major pentatonic scale. last tip to spice up the solo is to play outside. Now don't let this intimidate you. I promise you this is the easiest situation to make that happen. And all you have to do is just hit the change early. So watch as I play this change right here. I'm going to play the B flat major 7 arpeggio before the B flat chord hits, and you'll hear how it goes outside and then naturally just falls right into place. It's beautiful, easy. Give it a try. Always remember, take your time with all these things, take it slow. Each of these ideas can be hours, weeks, months worth of practice and just experimenting and playing around with it. These are endless sources. It's just ideas to switch up what you're already doing and just give you something else to try and do, to give you a little bit of variation, a little bit of excitement aside from what you've been doing. And if you want some interactive tabs to go along with this lesson, it's available for all my Patreon supporters. Link is below. Thank you to all my Patreon supporters already. And if you want to just check out an easy, comprehensive book that has all of these ideas from neo chords, different pentatonics, all these different neo-soul R&B ideas, check out my book. It's available. Link is in the description below as well. Peace. Stay nasty.